Alrighty, welcome everyone. I will call this to order at 12:37 p.m. With the territorial acknowledgement, I will start. Respectfully acknowledge that the SFSS is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and Catsi Nation. Conceded means these territories have never been handed over, sold, or given up by these nations, and we're currently situated on occupied territories. Great. Moving on, VP interim, roll call attendance.
Sam, pronounce he, him, all access needs met.
Thank you. VP finance.
Simmer, pronounce she, her, all access needs are met.
Thank you. External.
Joel, pronounce.
Joe.
Sorry, did you not catch that?
No.
Joel, pronounce he, him, access needs are met.
Okay, thank you. VP equity, sends her regrets. VP events.
Hi, my name is pronounce he, him, all access needs are met.
Thank you. VP university.
Name is Rishu, pronounce he, him, all access needs are met. I'm sorry, the only access needs that's not met is that I'll have to leave at Chloe and Joel at 2 p.m. for a meeting with Tracy Mason.
Okay. Operations manager.
Cindy, pronounce she, her, hers, access needs are met.
Admin assistant.
Trian, she, her, pronouns, all access needs are met.
Thank you. Myself, Eden is. All access needs are met. Okay, moving on. Consent agenda be resolved to adopt the consent agenda by unanimous consent. Which is basically the previous executive. Any changes, amendments?
List
Yeah.
for agenda items I'd like to add.
This is consent.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna assume there is none. I'm seeking unanimous consent for this. Okay, seeing none, that's carried unanimously. Moving on to adoption of the agenda. Resolved to adopt the agenda as presented. I move.
Second.
Issue seconds. VP University seconds. Floor is open for amendments and
List.
VP University.
I have a list for town hall. Let me just
Are these discussions, motions? What?
this would be a motion actually. I will put this in the chat in 1 second. I'm so sorry. This would be under new business.
Is that it?
Yep.
Anyone opposed to this? Good. Sam.
List is I have discussion item and an in-camera discussion item.
Okay.
Well, an in-camera item. The discussion item is pool table placement,
Okay.
and then the camera item is student care follow-up.
Okay. Okay. I guess you move. I second. Anyone opposed to the amendments? Seeing none. Okay, that's carried. Just please add it in the chat so that friends as I go back. Shitranj.
I would like to amend on 3 discussion items. Number 1 is monthly club nights. Number 2, SFU welcome month. And number 3, promotional items. I'm gonna add it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
I move.
Do you think you would better to use one of the computers for all because
It's really low.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Let me carry this for a second. Talk about. I guess you move. I second. Anyone opposed to those amendments? Seeing none, those are carried. Okay. What were you saying?
Like, should we just use computers for speaker?
Yeah, we could try that down really low. Could we still use that mic though? Would that be possible?
Yeah, it would just, might be harder for them to hear.
Yeah, because I think it's better not they hear. Because the system works with both speakers and mics, so it cuts out.
I see. So we can use the mic without using the speaker.
But here is a lot nice.
Right. Okay, if it gets really bad, we could transition, but, right now I could kind of still capture what those online are saying. It's just really low, but if it gets too bad, you could switch over. Okay, I'm gonna seek unanimous consent. Okay, seeing no dissent, agenda is, wait. It's okay. Agenda is carried as amended. Moving on to reports, management. Execs.
Basically, it's kind of a discussion mostly. I'm meeting with Tracy Mason, Student Services today with Joel and Chloe. I just wanted to ask what everyone wants us to talk to them about. I personally don't have much. I know Chloe has something to talk to them about. But I would like to get your input if this is something you guys would wanna, yes.
Cindy said.
Just really to emphasize that we're not gonna do their job, but also we're willing to work with them, but they still need to actually put out on the student services end.
Cindy.
Okay, comment for Rishu and then Sam. Just before you maybe meet with folks like us, just give staff a heads up, so like, Muriel might actually have some information for you. And also like, was there like any sort of like intent for this, meeting?
Or did an intro?
I've actually done the intro. Chloe and Joel have not met her, so I was just hoping to introduce them, and I know Chloe wanted to talk about something, I just don't know what the something is.
Okay, and then on that note, I think we need to be clear about some of our pieces before we have those discussions.
Just to make sure if anybody has anything that. Anyone? You have something? Anyone? Please.
I'll see if I could join the meeting.
That's it. Basically, I need the reports. I actually have a lot of things from the average committee, but I put that as.
That's all good with that. Yeah. Any other lists on reports? Sam?
Most of my stuff will be covered later, but I reviewed the policy that they sent us on the drafting of policies and
The policy on policy?
and then sent it back to exactly the flags and areas where I think we need a clarification for. So give that to UA and external.
That could be something worth bringing up, because I know Tracy was the main person for that as well.
That we still waiting for review, so that's gonna be the next meeting, because we're still waiting until July 17th.
Okay,
Deadline's July 17th.
does that mean they want on that day or they want it before that day?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, whether you do that this meeting or not, I think you still need to set up some meeting, Cindy.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think this is a great topic to bring up. I think we just need to make sure we're aligned on
With the-
the notes that Simon provided. And I know, I think staff had some.
So yeah, so maybe hold off and set up another meeting once that's finalized.
Maybe even like set up that meeting. Like
This meeting,
yeah,
this-
yeah. That's what I'm thinking to do. And also one more thing, I set up a meeting with the alumni engagement. The manual, and we'll be meeting them September 16th. I know it's kind of late, but that's the only time they're available. And we're hoping to do get some.
Sam, was that it? for you? Any other list? What? Okay, I do not see any, I think on my end. Yeah, I don't think there's much, just the usual. Okay. Oh, HR hasn't met yet, we have our first meeting today, so. Hopefully, next meeting, also. Okay, new business. Was your motion, did your motion have a discussion element?
Not really, it's more like emotions. I think we've discussed this last week.
Okay, motions for town hall budget, whereas the executive is dedicated to increase student engagement. Whereas the town hall was proposed by VP University to give the student an opportunity to have a direct meet and greet with the execs, be result to $500 for this event from the events line item. I move.
Second.
Can we just clarify for like the minutes, which line item that is, so that I can finish?
I think it's
Also-
817
I thought you were gonna take it from,
university.
yeah,
That was the initial plan, but Cindy expressed that
Okay.
that should be from
okay. What's the number?
817 by 12, I think.
Can I get clarification from,
Sandra?
yeah, VP Finance?
I don't think she's completed, so I don't think she responds.
I remember because of the Monday. It's gonna come from this.
Summer?
Hello? Hello?
Hi, they were just wondering if you knew the line item for events.
You're cutting out, or maybe I'm cutting. Sorry, you're talking about the.
I think she's cutting out.
It's
Okay,
something.
thank you so much. Yeah, it's 17.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, any other? Yes.
Hello?
You good, Simmer, we figured it out.
Okay, sorry.
No, okay. Okay, I'm gonna seek unanimous consent on this motion, if you wish to dissent or stay, please say. Seeing none, motion is carried unanimously. Next thing is the discussion items. And the order was.
You can do change orders.
No, it's actually a issue because he had submitted in advance. So we should, it's your outreach committee proposal, so.
Okay, so there's been 2 meetings for the outreach committee yet. First one was basically appointing chair. And the goals for the year, but the second one was more engaging. We had a bunch of things that the committee presented and even staff. So what staff wants is, first of all, that every event that we're planning to do, we can drafts, like not really a specific defined proposal, but if we can send them like a yearly draft or maybe a semesterly draft right now, that will help them a lot because it gives them a little heads up for the work orders that they're gonna get. That's what Helen told me. They want us to partner with SD committee and staff together, wants us to partner with SFU on doing something on Welcome Day. They want us to have a little bit of a presence on Welcome Day, not just a tabling, maybe we can talk to the Welcome Day people, I know that will probably people so that we can have a little bit of like, hey, we are the SFSS, this is the sub and everything, on Welcome Day. There's reels, I know I wanted Chloe on this, but she's not here, I wanted Chloe on this, but there's real ideas for town hall that we're gonna pretend that students are, I want everyone's consent and opinions on, especially this one. So I'll open list for discussions after this point, but I still have a lot more ones. So there's real ideas for town hall that students are gonna be mad at us and they're gonna be like, what's happening with this? And we're just executives, and by the end of the reel, we all come together, we like bring these concerns to town hall. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be a reel like that. So it's gonna be like, they're mad at us and we're just surprised at why they are. And we're not gonna answer those questions in the reels and we're gonna come to town hall for answering those. So I want everyone's opinion about this.
I just had a question about that reel. Do you think it might be a little negative if we like start it off giving the impression it's for complaints? Like if we're making a reel about students with complaints, students that like wouldn't come normally for complaints, more so like conversation might come just to be a little more aggressive about it. Like that might be the energy we're putting out.
Yeah, I'd like to express a similar concern. There could be a negative response to that kind of rail, which is something that with potential referendums coming up this year, we want to avoid. Anything negative?
So maybe you could just be like, they're just asking us normal questions, but we're not really responding to them in that, and we're gonna be like, come to the town hall. If that's any better.
Yeah, just something in a more positive light, because I feel like if we cater it to complaints, they're gonna come with even more fire.
Yeah, that was my main concern as well. This was not really my opinion, my idea, but this is what the committee suggested. And I know committee is gonna be way more happy with this one because they're not really executives. But valid concern, so I feel like a real bit more like they're asking us questions and we're like, oh, they go to town hall, I think that'd be great, right?
I missed some of that, but some decent.
Any other? What is that?
No, it's like, this is a good off, it's the camera.
Oh, I see.
Anyways, any other? We are cutting out because Joel's also saying that.
Yeah, you're cutting out again just a little bit, but we heard most of it.
Okay.
Any other opinions about the reel? And I would hope that everybody can, there's a day we can meet up next week. We can meet. Maybe can,
Cindy, is there a way to like restart the system?
Yeah, I think we'll just have to,
Yeah, you can continue on a laptop and then while you restart.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's
but the recording though. Wait, you don't need to leave the thing though, you could just restart the projector itself, right?
yeah, but I think I might need to.
Could you turn on your thing now?
Joel has a list.
Question, so is this reel supposed to be on like Instagram? Like, is that where it's being posted? Is that what you're talking about? I missed the beginning bit a little bit. Okay,
Yes, that's one thing, and there's another thing that's gonna come up in the discussion that I'll talk about this later, but yeah, mainly yes, Instagram.
and then the comments, we're collecting them to answer them in the town hall. We're saying if you have any comments, put them in the comments so that we have like material to prep for in the town hall that we can answer directly. Like these common questions came up.
I think we can do that, but we're also.
You're muted.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Oh, there you go.
yeah, so we're not only gonna answer the questions from the comments, but also. The questions that come up during like, yeah, like we're also encouraging students to show up for this event, and Joel has a response.
Yeah, I'm just wondering about the comments in there, like if there are some stupid weird comments, like how do you manage that? So if you preface by saying comment these things, then it helps us like channel their energy instead of like people just shit posting. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we're just not gonna respond to them.
Yeah, like just like if it's overly like, over the board and it's not like constructive in any way, I'm sure staff has the ability to delete such inappropriate comments.
Like, for example, if someone says, Joel, I don't like you, we're not gonna bring it up into the town hall. I don't know, this allows for a response. He says it's very common.
Oh,
Similar and
Yeah, I was just wondering, Rishu, is your suggestion box done?
it's done, and I'm hoping that, I haven't bought it yet, but I'm hoping that it's up and running by September.
Oh, okay, because what if like in the, that might be too far then, but what if in the reel you include that into your reel and then like you dump all the suggestion questions and you say like come to town hall to ask more?
That'd be good.
I'm still trying to buy one, honestly.
Okay, don't worry.
to Trump.
Looking at the current status of engagement on our Instagram, I'm not supposing that's gonna be a very successful reel in terms of the number of comments you're gonna get.
He said that there's not gonna be many comments, so Joel's safe.
Oh, yeah, I mean, because your goal is not really the comment, right?
Yeah.
It's really to show that we're about to have a
Yeah.
meet and greet and for them to show up, so.
Yeah.
Um,
I have Sindhu sent in an email with all the concerns she have. I think we should discuss them as well. I'm just gonna pull up. Wait, I'm struggling. Sam, could you?
On town hall,
Yeah. I think so.
we can, I can also. I'd also say the. Side of like that. A lot of logistical concerns,
Is there any concerns that you think should be?
let me.
I mean, Cinder's right here, you can just ask. her.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah,
Is there any that we need to talk about or
I-
things that could?
or logistical.
I really think it's pretty logistical, so it's
Okay.
like, yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Joe says, point of information, will we have enough time to cover everything today, since then? We should, yeah, we should.
Or we should probably move on to the next time.
Oh, actually, I'm not done. Yeah, there was hoping that if you're gonna give out prizes on the town hall. Like merch or even like do a little, the spin wheel thingy and maybe. These are all. Yeah.
I would say if we have merch, that would be ideal, but I don't know if we do,
I mean, we allocated it for other things, so we just have to plan accordingly. But I see that that's something that's an upcoming discussion item as well, so.
Yeah.
There's another one on this. Has decided that it would be a good idea to make a TikTok account. Just wanted to put that out, if anybody is opposed to that, please.
That's fair, that's where everyone's on these days. I believe all the other student unions I know of, they do have one. So, yeah, it seems like they need place.
Next is Ilham wants me, Joel and Chloe to put out more advocacy things, or if any of us does any. We put a work order for them so that they can post advocacy stuff on their IG posts. Yeah, that's basically it. There's one more thing, but that's mostly for council.
Yeah, I think most of that, I think we're fine with whatever the outreach committee decided to go with. And yeah, maybe you could work with. Maybe you could work with Chitwanj with regards to the merge stuff and all that.
Yeah, that's.
For items. I have monthly club nights first.
Okay, I'll just give it out a blurb. The past two ones have been successfully done, both financially and in terms of turnout. Although I'm a little bit dicey so as to how to move forward with it, because initially it was planned monthly. July does seem to be a not so busy month in terms of exams, and so does August because it's going to be end of school for summer. So I was just wondering if Sex have an input on that.
Issue?
I've heard from a lot of people that they want another July one. And personally, I think we should have a July one just before exams, like July 26th, because the exams don't really start until August 1st. But I would understand if that's too late.
On list, I think Simmer has suggested this before that we,
You can say my point, it's okay.
so repeat, but thinks the next one should be in September because July there's a lot of assignments. Most of the assignments are in July and then exams are in August. And then at the end of August, most people usually go away for whether it's vacation, back home, whatever it is. And then September is a great time to do another one because there's a lot of first years, there's a lot of people coming back to school. And so I think I would say it's fair to not do one in July and August, but I see a direct response from Simmer.
Yeah, you pretty much covered it. I think July, like looking at my own assignments, everything's due July 31st, July 26th. Like I have a midterm July, like end of July. Like it's a pretty hectic month because before midterms start, all the actual class assignments get in. But I think if you do it like maybe Labor Day weekend or like end of August, something like that, that would just be better turnout since it's right before school and you can have like a back to school theme.
Yes. Just the one complication that I was personally facing, I was thinking of the same thing, but when it comes down to doing something monthly, it's just the consistency that's going to be getting broken. That's like my dilemma, and that's why I'm discussing it here.
Simmer is.
I would actually maybe argue the opposite because then you'd have more buildup. I think the reason our first club night went so smooth was because it was like a first time thing, so there was a lot of buildup for it. And by the second one, the hype kind of maybe died down of like club nights. But if you let it go for 1 month, everyone will be excited again for the second month because there's going to be more hype around it if they have to wait for it.
Okay, so right now I'm looking at skipping July and putting one at end of August and then one after kickoff.
I see a list from Sam and Joe and then Rishi.
Just was gonna ask, what was the attendance at the two club nights? And then also just say that Yeah, I also have a lot of assignments at the end of July, so I wouldn't be able to make it personally. But everyone else. Though, and I don't really have an opinion on keeping it or not, but I do want to know the attendance numbers for the two events.
Issues that response to this question?
Yeah, not on this one, the previous one. I think instead of last week of,
Rishu, you're muted or cutting.
I just said that it should be instead of last week of August, it should be first week of September.
We can do first week of September. It's gonna be welcome week and we have other things to do.
John, do you have a response to Sam's question?
Yeah, the first club night had roughly 260 people plus volunteers and us. The second one was at 190 plus volunteers and us.
Okay. Joe?
From what I understood, the original intention was having something monthly. This was not supposed to be a big event. We're supposed to have something that people could go to on a monthly basis that was safe and available. I've noticed the attendance at the club nights, people have generally been very tame compared to a lot of university events. I've noticed that it's a lot safer. I think people trust the SFSS name to come to these sorts of events, and having a safe space for people to gather is actually really good on a monthly basis. I think we should have it every month. And then on the point of having stuff in the summer, we do have fall kickoff. We can probably skip one of the club nights in favor of the fall kickoff and have smaller scale events. And I think the reason why people didn't want to go again for the second time was because we were having it at the same venue. So switching up the venue might be a way to get people interested in having something monthly. And because we have guaranteed 200 students showing up every month, I think we might be able to get venues that are smaller and more variety and still get people. And it's a cheap price. It's value for money. $5-10 for a good ticket where you can come in, spend time in a safe environment that's university students predominantly, is very, very worth it compared to other offerings that are out there.
Thanks, Joe. Cindy?
Sorry, I just had a lot of thoughts on that. I mean, I don't think this is an event that's happening well off campus. And that's not super accessible, so I don't think it needs to be forced if it can't be. If you're looking for a monthly event, I mean, it sounded like, or like a more consistent event, it sounded like Rishi was looking at town halls or other events that was more consistent on campus. And something definitely within our control for being safe, because this isn't the case. If you're thinking of changing venues, and that's not really consistent anyway. So I think focus on priorities here could be a little bit more useful. I don't think particularly people are going to this event because it's necessarily SFSS focused. And if that, in the sense of build up, like maybe on a semesterly basis or something a little bit more realistic, like this could have been your pilot 2 events, see what works and take that for the next event in September. It's already looking like July and August is going to drop off. So are you going to be able to hold this on for October, November, December, January, February, March, April, right? So just think of the priorities now, like you already can see a pattern here, right? So just take what you can from it and no need to force.
Yeah, I mean, I'll also second some of that and also add that yes, it's a low skill event, but we also still can't just do it because it's costing what, 1,000 each time. I believe is one something.
Sorry, you got cut.
Oh, sorry about that. I was saying I'm gonna second some of what Cindy was saying that yes, it's a low scale event, but there's still like cost on our end, and there's a threshold of students that we need to meet in order for it to like be balanced off. And with that said, also considering like weather conditions going into the fall semester and spring semester, if it's something you wanna do every month. You also wanna consider when it starts snowing, raining, really cold outside, is it a program that you feel like students are still gonna consistently attend? With the factor of the weather condition, going into that too. So yeah, those are also some consideration. I see Simmer as a direct response.
Yeah, I just have a couple points as well. I think one, I'm concerned about the fact that it went from 260 to 190, I believe it was. And I think that's just because, like, as you said, it's a consistent event, so it seems like similar people are consistently showing up, I can assume. Which I think if you keep enforcing that every month, people are kind of gonna get tired of it, even if you do change the venue. Another thing is, I think the June event like popped off pretty well because June in Vancouver is a little dead for nightlife, so people wanted that. But once it gets into the summer, people are gonna want to kind of do their own thing, maybe go on trips. Like it's gonna be there are other options for them. Whereas in June, like we were kind of their only option because it is kind of dead. And yeah, just that point about the financials, like we can't really be taking bets on this to work and then just like the first event was profitable. I'm not too sure what the second event was. I think it was also profitable. But if we saw a decline, I don't think we should do it right away. Maybe we should let it get more hype and go closer to when school starts and market it as a back to school event.
I second that. Rishi,
I hope we can strike this on, this part I'm gonna say of the minutes.
just say it shouldn't be recorded.
Yeah, sure, only,
Sorry, could
Before we start, is it possible to do,
Before we start the recording,
or actually it's fine.
okay.
Just wanted to say that if we do another smaller event over the summer at a different venue, it gives off the impression that these are like this is something that we can do, and it gives a lot more confidence when fall kickoff comes around or concerts come around. Right now, it seems like we can only do one venue and one type of event. I think we need a little more variety. Like we know Chatranj has done events, but SFSS has not done events. Last year there was nothing, so students don't know SFSS has the capacity to do events well.
So when do you suggest this other event takes place?
Simmer has a direct response first.
Oh, it was just a suggestion that like we could do like a bonfire or like a barbecue like night or something like that. If we want other types of events and they'll still have music, they'll still have like
I'll just add, can I?
Pardon?
Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of tripping off, never mind.
I think the variety might be better if we like switch things up instead of doing like 4 consecutive club nights.
Shatrance, did you have a direct response?
Yeah, just to Joel's, yeah, I already checked in on availability for clubs, so, Barnum is already booked up, most of the clubs are already booked up anyway. We only are left with a few options. But my other idea was to kind of throw like a smaller scale pub night just at Beercraft to be able to give people that one small break who are studying on campus kind of situation. To just go and grab a beer or just chill with a couple of friends and just leave.
How do you envision that working? Would it be a paid event by SFSS, or is it more of a social gathering where students have to pay for their own stuff?
It will have to be a paid event, as in at least like $5 or something, just for us to be able to know who's coming in and what's the turnout, and just to control liability as well. But generally it's just gonna be similar to a club night, but less of a dance kind of situation and more of a just come, chill, listen to music, and have a safe space to chill with your friends.
So would we be covering drinks?
No, we don't cover drinks.
So what's the fees gonna cover?
Just entrance and a face-to-face kind of situation, and just us, so no externals.
Oh, so like booking out the space.
Yes.
I see, okay. I was just wondering, because if we weren't paying for drinks for them, then they might have wondered why they're even paying in the first place. But I guess if you promote it as a fun out venue, I guess, that is solely gonna be for SFSS that night. Do you have a pricing or cost for the venue if we were to book it out?
I haven't able to reach out to them yet. No, maybe sometime next week.
Rishi?
If this is not a club night, there's no alcohol involved, and we don't have any food either. I don't know how willing the student's gonna be even to pay that $5, honestly speaking.
Sam?
So we've been discussing this for a while. The general consensus that I'm getting is that definitely no July, maybe August, maybe not August. I think this is in the end, a events committee decision based on based on whatever the events committee wants to base it off of. We still have a pretty packed agenda. I think we should move on. Then if we still have to discuss it, we can discuss it next week.
Sure. Joe says he prefers the bonfires for the event over beer crafting, student love. Cool. So hopefully Shadrons, that gives you some of the executive thoughts on the monthly club nights.
Yep.
Next item, SFU welcome on. Over to you.
Okay, SFS came up with a few things that we need to be addressing in the welcome month. I'm just quickly gonna open their email. Give me 1 second. Or just give me 1 more second. Okay, so we are gonna be doing pancake breakfast, which has been done for the past few years now. This is gonna be on Thursday, September 5th, 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. This is more of an announcement, but starting from that, we are gonna be booking the ballroom and social lounge for student engagement and retention, for them to be able to host their specific cohort of students. Apart from that, campus tour that's gonna happen on September 3rd. The student engagement and retention department has proposed that exec table in the student union building, and the Hive leaders introduce the SFSS services and introduce them to us, and they drop by and meet some of the execs. Any suggestions? Anybody not willing to do it? Anything?
Which part?
I'm sorry?
Which part?
For the last part, for the tabling on the campus tours.
What day would that be on?
This is on September 3rd, 1:30 to 4 p.m. This is more like, okay, welcome to SFU. There is maybe like a small merch item from us, and just to be like, yeah, we are a separate entity, and this fucking building is ours. Sorry, cut that part. This building is ours.
I mean, I think as long as executives available. And again, any opportunity to spread SFSS awareness, we're all for it. We need that, especially with some of the big plans we have this year. We need student engagement. We need students to know who we are. So,
Perfect.
Well,
Next yeah.
I have the sign out, that's. I think the standard, so it can be fun.
Shatron, did you catch that?
No, sorry.
I've just said that we do this every year, so staff will send out a sign out sheet for the different activities.
Okay, perfect. And then okay, then I'll just give a blurb out. The next day we have SFU ready on September 4th. Same, we got a table in Convo Mall. We're gonna be giving out merch, introducing SFSS. And then September 3rd, this is something new that is happening this year. All faculties are gonna give 2-minute welcome in a video in the West Gym. They're wondering if we can host it. I have gone ahead and accepted the opportunity. So if anybody else wants to co-host it along with me, just reach out to me and we can plan it out with them. And then we will be sponsoring the first Friday movie night as we have been doing for the past few years, 50% of the sponsorship. And we are gonna be doing a pre-movie trailer, which kind of introduces all the execs and services provided by the SFSS.
Awesome.
I will be sending a work order to comms to be able to start working on the trailer, and then Ilham's probably gonna reach out to all of us to record small blurbs of our intros.
Okay, Cindy, have the direct response.
Yeah, so I know that even though we've been sponsoring in the past for movie nights, like we had pretty limited branding on there, and you're saying now we're 50%. Just wondering if they're gonna be able to change the branding on movie nights to make it more SFSS inclusive.
Yeah, essentially, even that was my question because I've never even thought it was an SFSS thing. And apparently, it was always a 50% sponsorship as well. So this year, they're willing to introduce like put up a trailer before the movie starts with us on it. And then I'm planning to probably pull out tables and actually have like an organizer setup kind of situation where execs or committee members sit and are like making people basically aware that the student society is kind of doing something for them.
If I'm correct, isn't it because they don't have money this?
No, because they don't have money this year, they wanted us to sponsor 100%. But obviously, we do not have $6,000 to give for a movie night, so I just went on with the tradition and sponsored 50%.
Yeah, but can we also get them to change their posters so it's more like SFSS centered as well? 'Cause I think
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, because we could do our part and like, put on the trailer and then do tabling, but it still looks like we're doing tabling for an SFU event, so. We can just work with them to change the branding on that or like share the branding. I think that would be helpful. But yes, and I know
100%.
as well, that is part of the reason.
We should.
Yeah, my only thing. We didn't have any opportunity to speak and there were like 10 people there. So that much money.
No, first Friday movie nights are always packed. Like last time, I'm pretty sure there were like 300 people over there,
Wait, is
or
that
probably more.
is that the one where they bring in like they brought in something last time? Like there was like they brought in like fake grass on the floor, and they had the
Yeah,
okay, and there was like other activities as well.
yes.
And are you guys planning to still do the same this year with like the different? I think there was like a what do they call them? Forgot what they call them, but are you guys planning to incorporate other activities as well, or is it just gonna be the?
There's gonna be other activities as well, yes.
Brunch?
Yeah, there's gonna be other activities as well. They are still working on the details, so not much of something I know yet.
Okay, cool.
Innocent con. Cause that's the one that people showed up last time.
Yeah, that's the one. Okay, Shatransh, your next item.
I think Joel has a.
Oh, Joe?
Chitransh, can we get them to get the fire pits back? For at least
No.
one night?
There's no
No.
No, I talked the budget.
And
Not
that's
even
what-
for the event?
Sorry?
Not even for one night for the event?
Oh, maybe for the event, sure, but permanently it's not coming back. But
Yeah, I can put that in the note.
okay, move on to your next item, promotional items.
Okay, no promotional items were ordered last year pretty much. We are basically out of promotional items. This is also more kind of an announcement. I'm still working on what to get and what not to get. So if anybody has like any comments on what they think should be a promotional item that can be good to give out, please feel free so that I can start working on it.
There was a survey sent out to counselors last year on promotional items to buy. If you're looking for ideas, that would be a good place to go to.
I think.
Yes, but the response was pretty slim, is what I'm guessing. And since it did get pushed out in council eventually, I want to be proactively thinking and putting actual, like putting our ideas out there.
Yeah, Cindy?
Well, I mean, I think this, but, I was just gonna propose that we put the survey out again if you, but
Was it to students last time or to counselors?
it was to counselors, so we could just do it wherever and then have a short time frame.
Okay, well, Joe is already giving you an extensive
List.
comment.
Yeah, I guess I'll just put the survey out then as well.
Yes, and you could probably rotate that through council. Oh my God, okay,
That's it.
Is anything else, Joel?
okay, moving on, I think Sam, it's your items, your, not your in-cam, but your discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, full table. There was a motion, we were offered a full table, where motion went through Spock to provide class of transport. Question that comes here is, where do we want to put? I've heard a lot of suggestions. The on the third floor, the and there, where does everyone, there were a lot of opinions on it, and I didn't really have one, so where do y'all want it?
Appreciate it.
My concern with the Go desk is I feel like if it's behind a Go desk, students are not gonna know about it.
No, it's the most visible place on campus.
Really? Like the one like behind the wall, or
Like
like,
the area behind the wall, like tucked in that corner.
Yeah, like where the student center is,
yeah,
that's what you guys are talking about, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
but are we talking about directly behind the wall or like in the middle?
Not probably,
nowhere specific, but that area over there. You could move it to places you think is more visible to students, but.
Another idea was outside the exec committee instead, like if we move the couches there, because if
But
that's.
that's a dead corner, no one goes there, and the ball could also fall downstairs. And yeah, as Chitron said, it is transparent on one side, so the wall is like, let's see, like people could see through and they would notice there's a pool table. Joel?
I heard ideas about behind the Go desk. I really like that because then it's very easy for, it's not a bookable space. It's easy for staff to just give the balls, like they can check it out, the sticks and everything is right there. Makes it easy to manage generally and to make sure. I think that's also monitored area by cameras, so we can take care of it. But I know that there were some suggestions about putting it in the space, which was the undergrounds. I don't know how people are feeling about the undergrounds. I don't know how that would mean logistically of having to book the space or making sure it is kept in a way that's like it's equitable for people to access.
Yeah. That was my concern with underground as well. I think it needs to be somewhere in the building, so it's accessible to all students. Third floor is good. I've also suggested first floor, somewhere over there. Probably we'll have to move some tables and chairs around, but there's also some space there that doesn't cause any safety concerns. Rishi?
The thing with the forum chambers is that directly above is the study and there's one already there. I think the third floor, like in the middle of that area near the students, that would probably be the best one.
Joe?
My concern with the first floor is it's the CG space and it's right next to the nap room. The only space I can think about is right next to the nap room outside, or maybe in that storage space. And I don't know how we feel about having that space be taken over by, I know some of the concerns were like putting other student unions there, like giving that space to other groups was, hey, we want quieter spaces. We want groups that will do quiet enjoyment, because that was the reason behind putting them on the first floor. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that still aligns with other people who are in that space over there.
Not necessarily. If anything, I'll actually disagree. The CGs are actually one of the most loudest spaces in this building. At least from my experience, whenever I walk down there, CGSF is either blasting music, so there's a lot of noise. The nap room is closed off, so of course it's not disturbing them. And DNA also, maybe that's the only quiet space down there, and maybe CGSF. But anyways, with that said, I think if you do decide to put it there, you definitely need to consult those members on the first floor. It's really only the third and first floor. The other spaces would cause some safety concerns because they're close to like stairwells and things like that. So but yeah, I think 3 is an amazing space. Most people come in through there, Pines is over there. SAS is there, SUS is there, the major passage, and the first floor is also. But yeah, I would say, yeah, but it seems like everyone is mostly in favor of third floor. But I could get everyone's thoughts on that. Or, yeah, Cindy?
I was just gonna say, I think since we're still like thinking about it, we can, it's not emotional, that's an idea. I don't necessarily.
But I think you wanted to know because when is the thing coming in?
Because building a person to get a pickup of the location of the pool table, and the way that the pickup was discussed was that they that the pool table is going to be disassembled and then the person can reassemble it in location. So it's like ideally we wouldn't have to move it.
So we don't have to move it twice, basically.
I don't know if this needs to come back to exec. Is this something we can, everyone's fine with just leaving to Emmanuel to make the final choice and then direct staff as staff liaison?
Do we need a motion to decide on that?
Like preferably, but I mean, if you make that call, then we can make that call and then retroactively. Cause then we can do consultations with staff and their opinion as well.
Cool. Okay, it seems like everyone was mostly generally okay with third floor, so we'll try that first, and if not, consider the first one, Santa.
We could also like do a quick survey, put up a couple of QR codes for survey around the pool table, so it'll catch people who use the pool table and see how it's being used. And it'll catch people who really dislike the pool table, if there are any, and do some feedback.
Like after it's in place, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, moving on to in camera, I'm going to move to go in camera. Oh, Sam?
Yeah, the last second.
Oh. Seeking unanimous consent. Seeing no dissent, motion is carried. Thank you, Rhian.